Hi everybody, my name is Justin Bisted, and I am a certified information security systems professional. I have been in technology. I have been doing technology since the 90s, over the past 30 years. I do information technology solutions. I do security assessments. I do security implementations. I help clients all over the world dealing with technology and information security and business processes and whatnot. Today, a client came to me a couple days ago. However, today I wanted to release what Justin does, and this is now episode 3. And so I've been trying to figure out some more content, right? What is it that I do, right? And that's what this series is about. What is it that I do on a day-to-day basis? For a couple of years, I was very hush-hush about what I did because it's fine. However, this is my opportunity to change this, okay? On a day-to-day basis, like I said, deal with technology. What does that mean? Well, today I want to show you what actually I did, what actually I found. And this thing I'm going to be showing you has no names in there. It doesn't show my client. My client was okay with me showing this. This is a new client for me. It wasn't an existing client, but it's a new client to me. They referred to me from another client. And so my existing client went, yeah, you need to talk to Justin. And I guess it was some weird, interesting experience, I guess, how that happened, but we'll leave that alone. And so I want to show you what was found. I rebuilt it on my own equipment. So I rebuilt the entire scam, all the phishing emails. I rebuilt the web server. I rebuilt the entire environment to my standards. So then it's only my system that I am affecting, and it's only my system that I'm compromising, okay? And I'm only going to be using my name, my company name, things like that. So you'll see some company names on here, some links. That's my link. That's my company site. Okay, I take complete ownership, and I give myself full permission to do such activity. Okay, and as a cybersecurity professional, ethics matter here. Yes, I might be a hacker. However, I am not a criminal, and that's the difference. And I like to be very clear with that. So, all disclosures out of the way, let's get started, shall we? Like I said, I'm in my email. So here's the scam. The email, the scam started from an employee. So this employee works for this company, and this employee just got reprimanded. Okay, so they're not the best employee, however. But this employee got reprimanded from his supervisor, and HR was in there. And what makes it even more awesome, or horrible, whatever direction you want to say, is the individual in the email sending it was the person in that meeting, the reprimand meeting. Okay? So the employee got reprimanded like about Monday or Tuesday, and then they got an email in their mailbox Thursday saying, hey, here's the example right here. Notice to complete your benefit renewal. Okay, and like I said, this is all simulated, and I got to be upfront with that again. Okay, notice to complete your benefit renewal. Okay, he knew it was time of the year, okay? And we all know this benefit renews every single year. They come in and oh, we're going to send you some emails, right? So this guy's expecting it. He's got a family, okay? And they need the benefits. That's the whole reason why this guy works there, okay? So he's expecting this in his personal email, okay? So let's click on it. Okay, ping, tomorrow, Friday. Our payroll provider, EDP, will be sending our annual employee benefit renewal. Okay, and remember, I'm just making up names. I gotta be upfront with that. Please be on the lookout for an email from EDP. The message will reference me and the renewal process. So you know it's legitimate. You will notice there is no link in this email. That is intentional. We are trying to avoid placing links in internal messages so it does not represent a phishing attempt. Okay? The only link you should use will be the one sent from the EDP in their official message. When you receive the EDP email tomorrow, please read through it carefully. It will follow up with other message explaining exactly what you need to do once it arrives. Okay, thank you. And I put my name on here and the payroll benefit specialist. And then the scenario, actually, real life, this was the person in the undesirable meeting that he had on Monday, Tuesday, whatever it was. Okay, and of course, I'm using my link and all of my stuff on the bottom. Well, not yourself out. Okay. Oh, he's on the radar, right? And of course, he just got written up. He's not going to go to HR and goes, I got an interesting email from you guys. I know you guys talked about it, saying that I didn't get this, but that I shouldn't get an email and whatever. But he doesn't want to go talk to them because it was undesirable. I'm going to tell you that. So he's like, all right, I'll wait. I'll be on the lookout. I'll be waiting for the email. Okay. So Friday comes along. Here's the email right here. It's come from that payroll benefit specialist, number one, again. As mentioned in the message everyone saw earlier this week, please complete the following steps. Click the renewal link contained below. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that matches down here, so we're good, right? Yeah, there's a little portal thing on the front, but again, well, it matches, right? Okay. Log in, renew your current benefit selections, confirm and update the selection. This must be done today so your benefits remain active and compliant for the upcoming period. Okay. Failure to complete the renewal may place your employment status out of compliance with the company requirements and could result in termination. Like Mr. Justin here needs another reason to be terminated, right? So of course, he's not going to check in, is he? No. Who in their right mind is going to do that? Okay. Thank you for time for this prompt manner. Oh, so Mr. Justin here. Wonderful victim here. I mean, it was sent to Justin from Justin, but the wonderful victim, the guy that just got written up, okay, the receiver of this email, we're going to call him the victim. He clicks on the link, okay, oh, opens up to a portal. And this portal, okay, this portal, for the exercise today, I intentionally put my logo on it. I intentionally use my names, okay? Intentionally. I don't want to put anybody out. I don't want to put a claim to anybody else. There's my full disclosure again. However, this is payroll portal. Oh, there's a little lock on here. And of course, an official website of my company. Number of password attempts, 2 of 2. That's weird. Why would it be 2 of 2? Whatever. So guess what? This guy types in his password. So we'll do my login first, my Windows login. Okay, Windows login. Okay. Oh, all right, that's good. It logs in, right? I must have been right? Okay, there's a download PDF right here. Okay. Individual clicks on the PDF. It's a form to fill out. Okay, it's a stupid printable form is all it is. Okay. However, I want to show you back to this form right here. And oh yeah, there was a notification on that page too. There was actually a message stating that this information is for only authorized use. Okay, like an actual message that that company puts on some things. Okay, so he's like, wow, this must be official, right? He gets to this. The number of password attempts after doing my investigation, this changes randomly. So like every time you go to this page, it actually changes. So like this one is 1 out of 4. For another user, that was 1 out of 10. For another user, it was 1 out of 6. It's kind of interesting. So let's do another username. So we're pretending we're that individual employee, the victim here. Okay, we're going to log in my Windows one. The Windows one didn't. The Windows one, for a case of the scenario, it didn't work. So we're going to do it again. This Windows one. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, it didn't work. The end user then, of course, went, maybe it's my work email. Okay. So you know how email addresses might be the logins, right? Work.com. Okay, that's his work email. Oh, come on, what is it? And of course, he doesn't want to call anybody. He doesn't want to call anybody because, right? He doesn't want to cause more unsuspecting thing, right? Okay, he's like, maybe it's Maybe it's my another work email password, right? Work.com. Another password. Types in another one. Okay, good to go. Obviously, that's still not working, so he's panicking, of course. That's what humans do when this doesn't work. There's no password reset button. Again, what does he have to do? Contact his HR. Okay, so he logs in one more time. Maybe it's this one. So he has a last name. He puts work.com at the end. Okay, great. That sounds great, right? Okay, types in this password. And of course, he's like, yeah, them stupid IT guys, they make my password so stupid long. I'll just type it in all together, okay? I have a password manager, but the password manager didn't autofill, which is really bizarre. But whatever, I'll just copy it from my password manager, okay? Oh, look, it actually logged in finally, right? And again, this is what he's seeing. Of course, wait, there's a PDF right there, okay? And we can see that's a PDF, okay? He opens up the PDF, fills out the information. Okay, what actually is happening in the background, let me show you what actually he just gave to that site. And that site was not owned by the company. And I'll explain and I'll reverse engineer everything I found. Okay, this right here is the log of what's on that web server. Okay, and I'll explain this web server here in a moment. On this page is all of the times this weird app ID. What that is so they can track, the hacker, the criminal can track every single email that they send out. So inside of the email, there is this unique identifier. So when the victim clicks on the email, they know who clicked on it. That's important. Okay, location. Okay, the reason why it says location, for my purpose, I didn't want to put username and password in there to be too blatantly clear. I put location in lieu of username, and I put color as the password. Okay, well, my first attempt right here, Justin, and then here's a password. Oh yeah, and the user's IP address. Okay, the victim's IP address. His home IP address, because he does this from home, right? On his home computer. Maybe his cell phone, okay? Wherever it is. But a little bit of tracking there. So the hacker has a password for this individual user, and the hacker knows his email address, of course. So he can be like, he can trace this back and go, the hacker can, and go, oh, guess what? They clicked on the link and they gave me information. So now they're on the list. Keep on going down. So of course, like we said, he tried a couple times, right? Tried a couple times. Here's a password. In this case, this was his work Windows password. Here's another username. Oh, here's another work Windows password. Oh, here's his work email account. And then here's his work password for his work email. Oh, that he thought it was. Here's another one. Another work email password. Oh, here's with the B. Here's another. You know, that really important one that came from the password manager, but unfortunately the victim decided to copy and paste it instead of, you know, looking at the URL and all the proper things to do. He copied and pasted it from his password manager and put it in here. Okay, and of course gave it to the site. The hacker now has all this information. Okay, for demonstrational purposes, I made up some random things, just typed it in there. So again, you know, you can see super secret 1, 2, 3, pound, 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 pound. Okay, great, right. Okay, let me reverse engineer actually what's happening here and how you can spot it. Okay, we can see this is pretty damaging to this organization. As an attacker, they now know where Justin and Justin B work and the domain for their service. It's very simple to figure out where that email is hosted. And then it's very simple to take that username and that password to log in. Okay? And of course, if he was using this same password on different sites, that right there is going to let the hacker just take that and just spread wildfire. Like I tell people, the number one thing I can tell people, do not reuse your password. This is why. You type, let's say this is your password to your email and your Facebook and all of these sites, right? Well, the attacker now has that, and he can go to every single one of them sites, particularly your email. Okay, so let's reverse this a little bit more. And like I said, that's the number one thing. And we're all saying, of course, there's some security professionals out there going, if you had multi-factor, that wouldn't happen. Yes, absolutely. Multi-factor would definitely help this attack from going even more intense, for sure. And that is the number 2 thing I recommend to all people that use any kind of authentication. If there's an opportunity to do multi-factor, turn it on. It is the number 2 thing that you could possibly do to keep your account safe. Your Facebook password, your Twitter password, or whatever they want to call themselves today. All of these sites, you turn on multi-factor, you make the criminal's job substantially harder. And criminals, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever you want to say, are lazy. And we've seen this. Simple little door lock makes, never mind. And multi-factor makes it substantially harder for them. Yes, a little inconvenient for you, but multi-factor completely decimates this. So, reusing passwords, number 1, do not reuse passwords. Number 2, multi-factor. Okay, let me show you what this looks like in the email and why this is so important. So I'm going to go back to my email. And we're going to look at this link, right? So we look at this link and we're like, oh, well, yeah, this has got to be a legitimate thing here, right? I'm going to move forward a little bit. We're like, this is legitimate. I mean, right? Click on the link, we're good, right? No. If we look down in the bottom, the far bottom, we can see an interesting thing. And of course, my picture is covering it up. So what I'm going to do to test this, you can do it 2 different ways, is you can just hover over it and we'll put the link in the bottom, or this is one thing I tell every single one of my users. Copy this link. Don't click on it. Copy it. You can do it from Gmail. You can do it from Outlook. You can do it from Proton. You can do it from AOL. You can do it from Yahoo. You can copy the link. Okay? Right-click on it and go to Copy Link. Okay? This right here is a surefire way to see what that link is without going there, and I can't be more clear on that. Copy that link. Okay? Go up in this bar. Go to paste. Do not go to paste and go. Just paste. What this is going to do is it's going to show you that link. Okay? Well, if I go back here, or my email, that's not. I'm going to open this up so you can both see everything. This is not that. Okay, that's not the same name at all. This is a different domain name. Okay, and in their case, it was even more vicious than just simply CaptainSkyview.com. Okay, it actually was pretty gnarly. It actually had the payroll company dot a church site.com.org in that case. Okay, why is that important? The malicious attacker took over a church website and put their payload on their church website to then use their church, that church's website, to then do these type of attacks. Wow, right? And of course, the client itself had nothing to do with the church, and I like to be upfront with that. This was not a church group. There was no coinciding at all. It was some random church, and I can get into why. However, let's just say churches depend on free labor, right? Well, websites are not necessarily free, so the website never got updated. There was no security updates. And I'm going to tell you, number 3, update your stuff, people. That site right there was compromised because that website wasn't updated for a long time. And that is how I knew where this stuff came from. It's because I went to the website, just passively looked. I didn't hack the site. No, I just looked. And yeah, that website hasn't been updated in years. And the criminal decided to put their payload, their malware, and have been using that church website for a long, long time. Okay? That is where it linked to. And that criminal, I can guarantee you, already has that login. For demonstrational purposes, I showed you a simple little command line to show you the log and stuff. However, I can guarantee you the attacker, even if that church site went offline again, already has that information. Maybe it was emailed, maybe it was sent some magical words, and we're going to use some special words here. Maybe you used a reverse shell that then had an API call that then connected to an SQL server that then used Bitcoin. No, we'll just say that the attacker already has that information. Okay, and yes, I like my tinfoil hat. Works great for training. However, for training purposes, I like to be upfront with people. This is one of the ways you can see, and I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see. In the bottom left, so I'm going to move my mouse right down here. When I hover over this link, we can see that there's a link down there. People just verify that actually is what you're clicking on. That should match this. And if not, increase that spider sense because we have interesting things. Now, of course, here's this whole question. Oh, I trust my payroll people. You know, I trust them and I trust them. Okay. And yes, this was a legitimate email. The legitimate email account was compromised at that existing place. It's not anymore. I'm going to tell you that. That's what I did, and I fixed that. Okay. However, this email came from a trusted mailbox, and that, as an attacker, is gold. You don't have to build rapport if you have the communication box access. Okay, as an attacker, if I take over a box, an email box, and I send to people that I've already sent messages to, guess what? They just assume that that's the person talking to. And it works great to what? Build trust. And that's how these criminals are taking advantage of all of these people, is they're building trust, or they have the trust. And I like to tell people, truly, there is no reason to trust this email. You can read it. And you can look at the links. Don't click on the links. Don't click on the links without verifying it. But this right here, even though you might not like the person sending it, this still affects your family, doesn't it? This still affects your livelihood, doesn't it? This still affects everything that you're working for this company for. And that right there is why the employees are clicking on these emails. Okay? Let's be a little bit more unkosher. That PDF that the person downloaded also had some malware on it that took advantage of the end users and the employee's computer at home and put some malware on, a virus on their home computer. They filled out that form with direct deposit information, with bank account information, filled it all out and saved it on their computer. Well, they already had the malware on their computer because their computer was a little out of date. You know, like I said, number 3. And guess what? The attacker also got all of that information. All of their kids' names, social security numbers, the wife, the intended victim, and the banking information. All of it. Okay? He didn't do anything with the PDF. There was nothing to say. The PDF on the bottom actually said, return it to the HR department. Do not email it to us. Which is great. But it doesn't matter. Because guess what? The attacker already infected that person's computer and got all that information. And truly, it was just a PDF. Just a PDF. This was the most gnarly attack I have ever seen toward a human. Okay? This attack right here, none of this is computers, okay? None of this is hacking. This is just raw social engineering. And what I ended up doing with that client is I went in there, we did some training, we did some initial training, some reoccurring training with their HR departments, with their payroll people, with all of their employees, with their accounting people. And we went hit by hit by hit on every single core important thing about, hey, how do we communicate this correctly? How do we trust and verify? Okay, we talked about all of that. So then at that point, when this happens again, not if, but when this happens again, and that's my tone, we can identify it extremely fast and contain it before any damage happens. And everybody is aware of this now. And that company, we went on, I talked to all the employees, and I'm like, hey, this is what happened. And the individual, he wasn't the most excited that this happened to him. But he told me, and in writing, that I could use his name for that company as unfortunately a victim to say, not a victim, but an example. And because of that, and went into detail about being written up and all that jazz, he gave me full permission and to use his name to say, this happened to me. Okay? And this guy wasn't some, a smart person, no, truly. They're all smart, don't get me wrong. Every single person has their benefits. And he was a physical worker guy, okay? Just a physical worker guy. Unfortunately now, that physical worker guy, he got attacked and he got compromised. And that's not cool. It can happen, and it does happen every single day. And that right there is what I'm trying to do with these videos, is I'm trying to educate all of us humans to go, if I can be one more person in your ear to go, hey, be aware that these things are happening every single day. Be aware that these things are targeting you. Not just some computer, it's something on my computer. No, they're targeting you and your family and your business and your way of life. Okay? These criminals are very good at their jobs. I'm going to be upfront with you. They are very smart, and I want to give them credit for that. And you know what that means? And they have patience too. They have patience to make this happen and wait. Where the rest of us, you know what? Got to get that job done. When's this going to be done? When's this going to be done? When is it going to be done? The criminal goes whenever it happens. They have patience. And that, unfortunately, is why they're winning. And I got to be upfront with you. They're taking advantage of us humans because we don't have patience. So there's my blabbing. That is one thing that I took care of. Okay? So this was episode 3. And I like to be upfront with everybody. Truly. Would love to talk a little bit more about it. But anyway, this is what I do, good people. And I'm happy to share. Again, my name is Justin Bisted. I'm going to put down below my LinkedIn. And you're more than welcome to go to my website, check it out, knock yourself out. It's kind of boilerplate, kind of boring. But anyway, like I said, I've been doing this for 30 years. So, yay! I'll put the tinfoil hat back on. Have everybody a good day, and I appreciate you all. And again, you're all special. And you've seen some of my other videos, and I just want to be upfront with you. You're important, okay? Whatever rate you're going through life, it is your speed. And I want to be upfront with you on that. That it's okay, whatever you're going through in life. It's okay. It's your rate of doing it. Just because your neighbor has whatever, or your coworker has whatever, just because you don't have something doesn't mean that you're not special. Doesn't mean that you're still you're working on something. Doesn't mean that you just don't want it. How many times good for you, Jimmy, but I don't care. Okay, it's not that you don't care, it just doesn't matter to you. What matters to you is the stuff that you're actually caring about. And I like to be upfront with you. That stuff you care about actually matters. And yes, a guy with a tinfoil hat is telling you that you matter. I understand that's kind of humorous. But I like to be upfront with you, truly. You matter. Everybody matters. But particularly you. And this message is for you. I'm signing off. There'll be another episode, I can guarantee you, with the little tinfoil ladders and in my exciting office. But otherwise, that's it. Have a great day, people. Yay!